Bankrate says, as of September 22, average debt among consumers is $96,000. What happens when you tie this into the national debt?
Does that include the car?
Yeah, no, that includes car, house, all of
everything across the board.
What's the number again, Tom?
$96,000.
So $100,000 basically.
Yeah.
That the average American owes in debt.
Correct.
Including the mortgage.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
across
of
the board,
course.
$100,000.
I'd like to know what it is without the mortgage. Yeah.
Debt Clock has debt per taxpayer at $250,000. So you're now looking at $350,000 essentially in debt in total, right? How does this tie into the national debt? How do we dig ourselves out of this hole? How does this, like, are they non sequiturs? Does it not, like, can you not compare them? What does it do to the dollar? Like, how do we dig ourselves out of this
strong feelings
giant
about
hole?
this. I have very strong feelings. Tom, you can go for it.
There are two schools of thought in there. And the first is we're set for a massive economic reset someday because you just can't stop this. And the other side is, no, you don't have to worry about it. Deficit spending, you just print. I mean, take a look at what we just did as a nation in printing 40% of the total currency in circulation.
Just the modern monetary theory.
That's right. Modern monetary theory says it really doesn't matter. You're just going to print and you're going to grow, and nothing is ever going to be more debt and value than the land and resources of your country, which is kind of dangerous. So I think we're seeing a gridlock Washington with the two schools are unable to control the other. One is we're just going to print and bring out deficits. Look, we have to go back to Clinton to find a president that came closest to having a balanced budget. And when you hear about balanced budget amendment, what that means is the government spends on defense and ships and bombs and national parks and all the stuff that we do and jails and prisons and all that. What they spent was exactly what came in from income taxes, corporate taxes, and tariffs and other supplemental taxes that we have. The taxes that came in, they spent. It's been since the Clinton administration where we were even freaking close to a balanced budget. So we are spending.
Can I give my opinion on this? So, Tom, he's asking for solutions. So can we do anything about this? That's what I'm...
Zero.
Okay,
no,
so
my point is, I don't think in a gridlock Washington, I don't think you're ever going to be able to control this. You're not going to get a balanced budget, and you're not.
Go ahead. What do you think can be done about this?
I mean,
I will tell you my issue, but I want to hear yours first.
I'll be the heel in this situation because I know you're going to come up with a solution. So I know that you're going to have something. But I say this all the time. There's things that matter and there's things that you can control. Where you should focus are where those two things intersect. Does our national debt matter? Of course. Like, if you look at this chart for longer than 2 seconds, your head's going to explode with all the numbers and up and down and green and all that. But at the end, this is a very selfish answer. You cannot worry about this. You can only worry about what you can do with your own household. Now, granted, are there different policies that you can vote for? Are there different politicians that you can vote for? But when's the last time Clinton was in office? 2000? So the last 22 years, nobody's done shit about this debt.
But that's also at a time where they used to work together. They don't work together today. Back then, they used to, go and say, hey, Newt, need your help, man. Let's figure this out. I'll give you this. You give me this. If you, have you guys ever read the book?
Tip O'Neill?
Not Tip O'Neill. It's another book about Reagan. The guy who was his right-hand guy. What's his name?
T-Bill?
No. He was like the chief of staff. He was an absolute beast of a guy.
Or James Baker?
Brady.
James Baker. Jim Baker. Yeah. So
yeah.
Jim Baker's book, it's like 1,500 pages, man. It's a long book. But if you ever read it, you will see how many times Reagan went across the aisle and said, hey, let's figure out a way to negotiate and see what we can do about this. Here's my opinions on this, Tyler, okay? The issue with this getting fixed is our current election system. And what I mean by the election system is the following thing, or whatever way you elect your candidates or your politicians. Everybody today benefits from giving things away for free. And because the system is in a way where you have to get reelected every 4 years, the right person and the right policies to fix this would never get elected today. So in order for this to get fixed, you need 20 years of president, House, and Senate to all be bought into paying off the national debt to even address this issue. It's not going to happen because those policies will never get somebody to say, oh, so what we need to do is stop spending. What we need to do is keep a reasonable interest rate up. And what we need to do is stop trying to chase all these other things. For how long? 20 years? I'm all in. Let's go do it and pay off our debt. People are not going to buy into that.
Well, not to mention, who are the people that we're electing into Congress now? The future generation is a generation built on the idea that you have to go into massive amounts of debt to make any money, right? The college student loan, look at AOC.
Yeah.
How much debt was she in before we elected her to Congress? This is what she's built her foundation on, is debt, right? So we have to have a groundswell, a cultural change wherein people, not just the government, people as themselves say, listen, we have to stop this idea.
You know how dramatic of a philosophy that is. Look, who benefits long term? Think about it this way. Elon Musk gets $180 million after he sells PayPal. We just talked about this a couple weeks ago. He sells PayPal, gets $180 million. He chooses to put $100 million into SpaceX. He chooses to put $70 million into Tesla. He chooses to put $10 million into the solar business that he has. Mm-hmm. Fast forward later, today he's worth $200 billion. One day he's worth $300 billion. One day he's worth $150 billion. Give or take, he's worth $150 to $300 billion, where he can say, I'll buy Twitter for $44 billion, and he can go out there and say, I'm buying the company. I'm going to figure out a way to buy it, right? Why did he do that? He's a long-term thinker. We have become such short-term thinkers that we just want to elect somebody that can solve our problems now. I want to drink a drink that's going to make me lose 10 pounds for tomorrow's party now. I want to take something in my body that my muscles are going to be 18-inch guns now. I want to buy a Bitcoin that's going to help me become a millionaire now. Everything is this now mentality. And unfortunately, we vote with now mentality. We buy with now mentality. We sell with now mentality. We build with now mentality. No one's thinking about delayed gratification.
For your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here. And to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.